Okay, so this one is for you, Cancer. That's you, Cancer. This is Tarot Lumination with your general report, September 2017. Cards are already pre-shuffled well in advance, but we're going to do some more right up to the very last second so that you are a witness. No reversals, no flyers, no jumpers, no oracles. We're just going to tell a story and hope it resonates with you. I like to think of it as a journey spread from the heart, on the understanding that you might live a lot of your life through perception or attitudes or habits, which is very normal. However, none of it happens without the heart. When the heart stops pumping, there's nothing. So that's why we read this from the heart. Okay. Before we get started, let me just show something to you. I've been showing this to everyone else. It's your little thing for the eclipse recently, the Leo North Node and the Leo New Moon eclipse energy. We did some reports about that. By the way, I invite you to watch for September. In particular, I invite you to watch for your Sun, Moon, and Rising, but also especially the old North Node Leo playlist series. It's on the Tarot Lumination channel playlists somewhere. And also the much more recent playlist about the Leo North Node, which is where this material comes from. So, because it might help you understand what's happening in September, because even though we are in Virgo season, it's September time, Sun is in Virgo most of the period, we're still carrying the legacy of all this Leo energy here, because it's very strong, and it only just happened at the end, right at the very tippy end of August. And we had the Sun, Moon, Mars, and North Node all heavily lit up at that time. So we're now, in September, actually starting to feel all that stuff play out in our lives, in our world around us, even though it's September, Virgo energy. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So for you, Cancer, there would be you might be having a lot of experience in your life where you might be releasing or letting go, or feeling as though you're losing a lot of stuff when it comes to like resources, and how you might have been giving it all away for decades or years or months without even knowing it, all with the best of intentions, on the understanding that everyone else works in an ethical manner in the way that hopefully that you do, but it might not turn out that way, because if you do not value yourself or attach any value to who you are or what you do or how you do it or why you do it, then no one really knows. So you might have ended up feeling impoverished when it comes to intimacy, but now is your chance to reclaim your value and really tap into your talents, your wealth, your values about yourself, what you value, understand your gifts. Start relating closely to things like money, property, your own self-worth, really treasuring yourself, okay? Being much more aware of physical matter, your physical resources, the energy of time. Time is an extremely valuable resource, so make the most of it, okay? There's a tremendous support and energy for you to do that over here, okay? Especially coming into September and for the next few months. All right, let's do this. I've talked enough. Sorry about that, folks. But I have to give you the background because it's kind of important, especially for this month. All right, and here we go. We're going to cut and spread and read. All right, that one and then that one. All right, here we go. So I think of it as a journey spread, like I think I said earlier. We read from the heart. This would be the core. This would be like the core energy inside of you, so to speak. This would be the legacy energy that you're bringing in with you, like the heritage, the baggage, or just your history, or just however you are coming into September. And this is the ever-present now as you move through September. This is like how things might feel for you, how things might be for you. And this is much more of a conscious energy about, well, okay, we're in September, I'm still alive, I'm kicking, and I'm going to evolve and grow alongside with everyone else. I'm going to make the decision to do that. And so you switch on the ignition and go, and you press the gas pedal. That's this kind of energy here. We're now in motion, okay? However, when we are in motion, and we're actually you know, engaging in our journey, there is risk and reward. Like anything in life, we're human beings living on an earth plane where we feel it physically, the danger and the love, all of it simultaneously. And so you're putting on your brave face here. So moving forward, how do you move forward most effectively, most lovingly for yourself and for others, so that you make the best use of this new wave of energy that's happening for all of us, specifically for you, Cancer? How are you going to make the best use of your situation? And in so doing, you well, I'm not going to tell you what you believe or how you believe things, but if you allow for things like the law of attraction and so on, where you understand that you can create your reality by a series of millions of decisions, where decisions are neutral things, they are just phenomena, and you have the right as a human being to exercise your right to make decisions, and through your decisions you can create a reality. So that would be what you would expect here. On the other hand, if you think life just happens, then this energy might feel as though it's just coming into your life, like from out there. Either way, it's there. And this energy over here is more or less like the energy you would have from here with your fingers crossed behind your back, hoping that you've made the right choices, the right decisions as you evolve and grow here, and you proceed in your journey, and you hope it works out, and you're scared in case it doesn't work out. So that would be this kind of hope and fear card over here. And this would be kind of like an outcome, like the momentum where things are going after this journey, okay? So remember, this is just a short reading for September. So it has energy coming into the reading from August and further back, and it has momentum leading into October and beyond. So there is the sensation of time here. That's why we call it a journey, because we experience journeys as something that happens through time. And I like to think of it as a heart spread, because that's the whole point of the reading. We're reading from the very, very core of you, and everything else is attitudes, perceptions, and experience. We're also going to look at the bottom card here, which is what I think of as the weather that permeates the whole thing. And what you have is the Ace of Swords. So bravo, Cancer. This is a chance. This is a golden opportunity to strike out, start fresh, start anew with the new true you, where you are being much more true to yourself, which is the ultimate thing you can do for everyone else too, by honoring yourself and having the chance. And this is almost like literally a card from heaven falling in your lap. Now, we're just hoping that you're aware of it, because this is almost like lightning that comes in and says, kerblam! Cancer, this is your time. This is your moment. You can now officially have full permission to value yourself, okay? Attach value to yourself. Be proud of what you are, and show no fear in radiating your value, sharing your values, what you believe, and being valued and rewarded accordingly. Okay, if it's in terms of money or gifts or understanding or acceptance, whatever that might be, however your value is reciprocated to you. So that's really good. I'm happy for you, Cancer. It's all about the truth. The truth. So let's have a look at the core here. What's going on? Well, this is interesting. We had this with another reading earlier. This is the Seven of Cups. So I'm feeling almost the same thing. You might be almost like bewildered, overwhelmed, a little bit shocked, dizzy by what's actually happening with you, Cancer. You tend to be a very sensitive being, and when you have all that massive firepower here directed towards your second house, where you really, really feel it physically in your life, your physical three-dimensional world, and you start to realize, oh my gosh, what's actually happening? Maybe I was giving it all away for so long with the best of intentions, just assuming that everything would work out normally and I would be appreciated and valued. But no, you actually have to claim the value. You have to actually be that. And you might be a bit shy about that. You might have been shy about doing that altogether. And now that it's happening, and where you are being appreciated, you are being valued, and you're seeing it and feeling it and starting to sense it in your world around you, it could make you almost dizzy, because it's opening up a whole new like menu of options that you might have not really been aware of for a long time. Like, well, what about if I do this? What if I feel this? What if somebody values me like this? What happens if I actually tap into my dreams or allow myself to do this? Or allow other people to reward me and I accept their gifts. That's a beautiful thing. You just might not be used to this, Cancer. It might be such a weird, trippy feeling for you that it's disorienting, literally disorienting. So, and that's perfectly okay. This eclipse energy has been very disorienting for a lot of people, and so you might be feeling it as well, especially where it counts, like in the wallet or in your sense of self-worth, your physical sense of worth. Like, oh my gosh, I really am that something? Wow, I had no idea. Because it's all happening right now, where all the elements that were redundant in your life that you're releasing over here are now clearing the space, opening up for the new energies to come in, the new downloads, the new perceptions, the new values, the new way of treating and loving and appreciating yourself. Okay? And people respect that. Other people respect people who respect themselves. You know, if you're in the habit of being, oh, it's just, here, it's just take it, just take it. That's not actually healthy. That's actually, you're depleting yourself. And it's perfectly natural and very healthy and very appropriate for you to receive reward and value for who you are. Not just what you do, but who you are. People love you, Cancer. You might be shocked to know that. You might be shocked to know that a lot of people love you in multiple different ways for multiple different reasons. And, if that makes you feel a little weird, it's okay. Sometimes the energy of love is extremely hard to understand, extremely hard to accept, extremely hard to receive. A lot of people are very good at like being compassion junkies, but when it comes to receiving love and compassion themselves, it's almost like they block off their heart because they don't feel worthy, they don't feel deserving. There's a problem there, right? Listen to this. This is one of the little chants that I do. I haven't done this with any of the other videos yet, but I feel compelled for you, Cancer. This is what I say to myself sometimes when I'm feeling a lack of self-worth. I say, I am worthy, I am deserving, I am open to receive. I am ready, I am willing, I am able to receive. And I repeat that over and over again until I brainwash myself. It's like, oh, well, it must be so. It's true. I've heard it so many times. It's a fact. Anyway, let's see what you brought in with you. You see, you might have just brought in a legacy of awful lot of pain. Like, perhaps years and years and years of pain and suffering where you might have unwittingly allowed yourself to be a pincushion for other people for so long, without deliberately trying to hurt yourself. And you meant no harm to yourself or other people. It's just that you might have been unaware that there are other ways to conduct your life, where there's a lot more equilibrium and a lot more balance, where the love energy flows both ways, and you are allowed to be loved. So if you're coming in to September, coming out of this eclipse season with a heritage of perhaps years of, let's say, pain and suffering of every possible imaginable kind, could be in relationships, finances, health, spirituality, you name it. Home matters, your subconscious programming, your habits, your relationship with the community and the world around you, your spirituality, all of it. You could have been depleting yourself in so many ways for so long, but it's over now. This is essentially over. It can't get any worse than this. So in a way, this is a very, very good card to come in with September, because it's only under a stark realization about how much you might have been depleting yourself unwittingly for others, and it didn't actually have to work that way. You can actually still be very, very nurturing and caring. See, the thing about Cancerians, typically you like to be out there doing what you do, but the core energy is about nurture and care, and you're very, very, very good at that. you kind of know what people need when they need it, instinctively, intuitively. And people gravitate towards that because a lot of people are in pain and suffering. And if you've got what they need, they're going to come and get it. And if you're giving it away, they'll happily take it. So, in a way, that whole way of operating is over. It's a completely redundant way of living a healthy life. And you don't have to do that anymore, Cancer. It's kind of, it's kind of over. And new ways are opening for you with all the new downloads coming in after the eclipse. It just might make you feel a little bit wobbly because you've been used to living and being this way for so long. It's almost like you might not know anything else, but things are changing. Okay, let's have a look. What about the present? You see, you might have been more swords here. You might have been like, it's almost like deep down you're aware of what we're talking about right now in the reading, but you never really figured out how to deal with it. With this card here, the Five of Swords, of almost like the energy of futile conflict, you might have felt like you were doing the right thing all the time and justifying your own behavior for living how you have lived and being who you were for so long. But in the end, it didn't really work because it didn't really get you anywhere because you end up depleted. Like nobody wins here. So, and that's futile. That's absolutely futile because if you go around just like being a classical, Cancerian, where it's all about nurture and care, and especially for others, and providing a sense of security and safety and home uh, for others at the expense of yourself, that's not healthy. It's ultimately very self-defeating. Okay, that's not healthy. It's not good, and you might be still carrying some of this energy with you, but at least you're starkly aware of it now, and that's kind of a very, let's say that is a very healthy awareness now that you might have been the author of your own demise for so long without even knowing it. But now you know. Now you know in a very, very stark, evident way that things are changing, especially in matters of the heart and how you love yourself and how you allow yourself to be loved by others, and how through your own unwitting behavior, you might have made it very difficult for that to happen. You might have made it very difficult for others to love you because you were not ready, willing, or able to receive. You did never consider yourself worthy or deserving or open to receive. And you were all about the giving and the sharing and the loving and the nurture because that comes so naturally to you, Cancer. But that's, you can't just put it all one way. Be loving, be loved. You have to, if you're going to be loving, you understand that you will be loved, but you have to accept that. You have to allow for that. You have to be willing to receive that in order to live in a harmonious, balanced life. All right. I don't want to sound like I'm preaching. I'm sorry, Cancer. So with this awareness about how you might have been an expert at extremely subtle and effective ways of self-defeating behavior, what are we going to do now? Well, you're going to move on. And how are we going to do that? Yes. Okay, Cancer, it's about time. You give up the war. You give up the battles. You come home from war. In other words, put down the sword. Like, you don't have to be a vigilante out there, trying to do justice in the world, saving people, rescuing people, whatever it is you do, compassion junkie, if you've been a compassion junkie for a long time, to the point you didn't even know that's how you were being. Well, it's over. Okay, it is over. Done, finished. You understand how you might have been self-defeating. And now it's time to come home. Come home to love and be loved, okay? It's okay to do that. It's like if you're a warrior and a soldier out there in the battlefields of life and, trying to save and rescue people, you might be one of those people, like, first responder type personality where, like, you don't really get off on life unless you're out there, like, rescuing or saving or nurturing or something like that. But it's okay for you to be on the receiving end. It's like a soldier coming back from war and they're still programmed for war and they don't know what it's like to allow themselves to be loved and allow themselves to be healed because they've been programmed to go out there and do what has to be done. But going forward into September, you have permission now with the Knight of Cups here. You have permission to lay down the sword and come home and allow yourself to love and be loved, but in a much more, let's say, conducive way to what would work for Cancer. In other words, just imagine what it would be like to be loved and nurtured by yourself. In other words, give yourself some of your own love and healing for once. Okay? Does that make sense? Treat yourself. Allow yourself to love and be loved, but like from a new perspective in the home, so to speak. Love you first, you know? That's a common theme here on Tarot Illumination because a lot of people don't do that. They're always out there. Like you're almost a classic example, Cancer, of being out there doing all this, but not being so good at receiving the love. Well, it's about time, okay? Even though it might make you feel very weird and dizzy, love, the receiving end, being on the receiving end of love can be very disorienting if you have not been consciously aware of what actually happens when you have to make deliberate decisions to receive love, as opposed to making assumptions that you're getting love. That's very, very different energy. It's time for you to consciously and deliberately move yourself into a position where you are now ready, willing, and able to receive the love that you deserve, okay? That's part of your new way of being for Cancer Mark II, to love you, okay? How are we going to do this? Let's have a look. Okay, fair and balanced. With the 6 of discs here, it's an understanding that it's about time to bring things into balance again, okay? You might have just been giving it away, giving it away, giving it away, giving it away. And now it's time to receive, and bring things back into harmony and balance. I'm not saying, you know, the world owes you, or you can go around saying like, you owe me now, you owe me now. No, it's just a change in posture, a change in awareness, especially triggered by this eclipse here, with this energy going on here, that you are worthy, you are deserving, and you can be open to receive. And it's time for you to be ready, willing, and able to receive. It's okay. It is just, it is balanced, and it is very much in line with the laws of attraction, where, you know, ultimately everything has to come back into balance in one way, somehow or another. And this is your time now. This is your time, Cancer, to do that for yourself. You know, allow yourself to be on the receiving end of generosity, and that starts from within. Be generous with yourself, be kind to yourself, allow yourself to attach value to who you are and what you do. Like if you provide a service, if you have to, raise the prices. If you provide a task, or if you're in a situation where you are rewarded in a certain way, maybe it's time to ask for a raise or get some kind of a promotion, or allow yourself to be promoted and more highly valued and appreciated in ways that you might have like brushed off in the past. Gosh, that sounds weird to say that, but you know, actually a lot of people do that. Now I'm looking at this reading, but you're almost like a classic example of someone who gives it all away and thinking that, you know, people are just so kind and nice and they'll do the same thing. Obviously not, Cancer. If you're just constantly giving it all away, then they're going to take it. But now is the time to restore balance, love yourself first, and let's start making that happen in very tangible, physical ways that are immeasurable in terms of resources, things that are valuable to you, things like money, being appreciated with money. It's okay to receive money. Sometimes it's the only way that people can effectively say they love you, is by rewarding you, by paying you for something, or buying something from you that they love. Please accept that. You don't have to give it away. It's not always a gift. So where does that take us? Okay, we're going to look at this, Cancer. So with the reading the way it's going right now, all right, with this card here in the background, the truth, it's like if all this truth is coming to your awareness now, like how you might have been an absolute expert at very, very subtle, very, very effective self-defeating behavior where you diminished your value, diminished your worth without even knowing it, to the point where you were crushed down to the ground. Well, that is going to change. It's going to change from September onwards, hopefully for a very long time. It's not going to happen like a switch. It's going to be incremental, one tiny little step at a time. One new, fresh download of love, heart energy at a time, no matter how weird it feels, okay? You're going to bring in the love. You're going to accept the love. You're going to put down the sword and walk away from the front lines of battle, so to speak, and allow yourself to be nurtured, okay? Bring things back into harmony and balance. And you're doing that deliberately. So what does that bring into your life? If, let's just say, you go along with the laws of attraction and understand that you might have created all this, you created your own reality, but you're also creating a new reality, okay? Now, if you think that what's happening, what we're talking about here is just shockingly weird and it's just fate and it's all coming at you and you are seriously dinged in the head and you're just wobbling and tripping out because everything that's happening to you in your life, then that's okay. This card might feel like the energy of fate that's dropping into your life. However, if you're taking a very conscious, deliberate approach, like the Knight of Cups here, where you're deliberately taking actions to be ready, willing, and able to receive the healing power of love into your life in tangible, physical ways, okay, then this is what would appear, okay? It will be an aware, with the Four of Cups here, it's an awareness of how you might have, like, it almost goes very closely with the Five of Swords here, how you might have, you know, hurt yourself for so long, being so focused on, let's say, things that didn't work, but you weren't aware of it. You could have been conducting yourself with this kind of posture for a very, very long time, to the point where it's depleting. Like if you're always focused on, like, yeah, sure, it's definitely heart energy here, love energy, but if you're always like being the caretaker or the giver or the nurturer who's giving it all away, because you're aware of everyone else's woe is me energy here, then it's inevitable that you would have depleted yourself. But it's also an awareness here, a very, perhaps, you see with these cups energies flowing here all together in a nice kind of pattern. To me, it feels like an indication that very, very gently, very, very slowly, whatever pain and suffering you might have been carrying here for so long, and it was so deep and so profound that you didn't really know how damaging it was, it's just what you would call your life, you would have a right to have a little bit of woe is me about yourself and your life and how you made this happen. But you're not going to linger in this energy for too long, because deep down, Cancer, you know that you are very deserving, you are worthy, and you are open to receive. And this is like a little tiny miniature Ace of Cups right there. Do you see? Right in front of you. Boom. You just have to change your posture, change your attitude. So you might come to an awakening as September unfolds through the full moon and then into the new moon at the end, that you have the opportunity here to really start from scratch and get over this kind of behavior that might have been so deeply ingrained inside of you. You might have been, you know, even though you might have been conducting yourself in a very noble way, because you love being the nurturer, you love being Cancerian, that's who you are. But deep down in your heart, you might have been very aware, but not admitting it, how much you might have been defeating yourself, which would entitle you to feel a little bit of woe is me. But you're also entitled, by your choice, by deliberate decision, to accept this. I'm trying to, like, do you see what's happening here with these two little cards? I'm trying to connect these cards together, where by your conscious spiritual decisions to get out of the front lines of the war, allow yourself to come home, nurture yourself as if you were a Cancer nurturing a Cancerian, you're bringing the love to yourself. And this is coming to you from spirit down to you in your mundane day-to-day world. So this is the love coming at you full on. And it's just a question of now of training yourself how to receive, how to accept this Ace of Cups, this miniature Ace of Cups here and here. So it's not showing here in the reading, but that's how I'm feeling it. It's like, this is your time, Cancer. You know, where energy flows, where attention goes. So if all your energy for many years has been focused on should've, would've, could've, because of all of this that you did to yourself, you have the right and the duty and the obligation to change your attitude and perspective. And energy flows where attention goes. If you focus on the love that you deserve, then you can allow the love that you deserve to come to you. Right to you, okay? conscious decisions, okay? These were unconscious decisions to give it all away. We're making conscious decisions now, coming to blind, stark awareness that you've been giving it all away. And the new truth is for you to own some of this love energy for yourself now, okay? That's what this and this is about. So let's see what you're hoping for. Yes, okay. So this is an indication that you kind of understand what we're talking about here, but it might not make a lot of sense because you might have been so ingrained in self-defeating uh, behaviors and actions where you deplete yourself, that this whole new way of being, this whole new way of dizzy way of loving yourself first might feel very weird and alien to you, but you're going to get it. Deep down, you know what's supposed to happen in spirit and how it's supposed to happen. And you're going to do it, but it's on the understanding that you mean well, you have the best of intentions, and you hope that it works out because you don't actually know. The things with the Page of Wands, they don't actually know, but they want to know. And you are determined to know and feel it and own it so that you can actually live like in this new truth, this new reality, this new way of being, these new conscious, deliberate ways of valuing yourself. And you're doing that with the spirit and passion that is necessary to do that. You can't do that without drive and passion. So I'm glad you have this card here. And I don't think you should be worried that this is not going to happen because I think you're already very clearly in the right place, right frame of mind. You've made the right decision to start loving yourself, okay? It just might be a very weird new experience for you. Attaching value to who you are. Where does that lead? Okay, justice served. Okay, we got a lot of swords here in this reading, Cancer. So it's about time. The way I'm feeling this for you, Cancer, it is about time that justice is served. It is about time that you love yourself first. It's about time that you embark on this journey. You know, even though you might be naive and innocent and you mean well, you have to do it. There's no escape. You're going to do it. You have to do it. You owe this to yourself. And other people will respect you and love you accordingly. And this type of energy will change. And instead, you will start receiving. You'll be sent on the receiving end of love from others, which is what you deserve. It's totally just. It is absolutely ordained. And it's simply because you're making the decision now to love you first, bringing the love, allowing yourself to be in a loving, nurturing environment by your choice, by your decision, because of your new awakenings and your new awareness. Justice is served, and so it is spoken, so it is done. All right, Cancer? All right? It's like being in a courthouse, and the judge is sitting there. It's not a judge, I mean, it's a justice of the peace, bringing things back into harmony and balance, where it is not longer you just giving it all away. Over here, you now have a right to love and be loved, to be loved most especially. All right? So I hope that makes sense to you, Cancer. I hope you get something out of this reading. It's your reading. You can reinterpret however you want. All right? Watch your sun, moon rising. You know the drill. Watch the North Node eclipse videos. Watch the Leo new moon eclipse videos. Make the best of it. Have an awesome September. Bye-bye.